Good morning. So yesterday I had an intern. Not me actually. I am currently working at a production company. They hired me as a freelancer for an editing job, and I'm now also going to that office. And in their offices they had an intern. In Germany, there are a couple of different internships. So when you are going to school, to high school, you are supposed to do a 2 week kind of school internship where you just go to a company for 2 weeks to kind of get a feel what it's like to be in the job world. And it's only for 2 weeks. Those are minors. In Germany, you are legally an adult when you're 18, but he is 17, but yeah, it's around that age, below being 18, that you are supposed to do this 2 week internship. So usually, at least what I did when I had to do that internship, you actually in that age, you don't know what you actually want to do, and you basically take whatever is possible. But he is kind of interested in the film industry, and he was actually very curious about editing, and he actually asked, hey, can I sit down and kind of watch over the shoulders? And I was like, of course, you can sit right next to me, look at whatever I'm editing, and feel free to ask questions. And he actually sat there for I think like 5 hours or something, and was intently watching what we were doing. And I also explained a lot. He asked questions, and we also kind of, because the director and I are editing a very story-driven comedic commercial for a German sports brand. We actually also wanted to hear his opinion, and obviously included him because he's a completely different age bracket. He maybe also kind of has some different perspectives. So we also asked him, and I kind of want to double down on what I have always been saying, and I'm a huge advocate for, and that is that first and foremost, I'm a huge advocate of sharing knowledge. I don't like to kind of hide away stuff. So I do know some people in specific craftsman places or in specific job situations, they don't like to share how they do things because they have the fear that their competition could use their techniques and do the same job as they do. And while I think it is a valid concern, I do still believe that there is no point in hiding your knowledge. I am very open to share how, for example, my remote editing setup is, because I think what's it called? A tide lifts up all ships. And I feel like if every one of my competitors is doing a great job or does know how to kind of do remote editing, it's better for the whole industry. And I don't think that technical details are the reason why I am being hired. I think personality, professionalism, reliability are much more important than how I do things from a technical standpoint, So I'm very open to share how I do remote editing, how I do technical stuff, what I'm working with, how I'm editing specific things. And I think I can highly recommend for everyone to do the same, because we all can benefit from it. And imagine you teach, and I have that already actually. Many years ago, I actually taught, back then, a young kid how to do stuff, how to get into the business. And now he is actually a very known and very well booked DOP and videographer. And I just know that at some point he will hire me. So it is always good to teach younger people, not experienced people, to get better at their craft, to share your knowledge and teach the next generation and even your competition. I have no problem with telling my competition how I do things because, as I said, I just know many of my clients like my personality, like the way I do things, like that they can rely on me, and it's not 100% just my technical skills. They just know I get the job done, and they just know that whenever they sit with me on a project for multiple weeks, we have a good time. And that's a big deal as well. I have seen a lot of really good, creative, skillful people, but I've heard from the clients, yeah, that person is really good, but we just can't work with that person. It is so difficult to communicate with that person. He or she just doesn't understand what we are looking for. And I think that is a huge deal. And again, one of the big reasons why some clients like to work with me and like to hire me. And that is why I have no issue with kind of sharing what I can do, what skills I have. And yeah, it's also, again, all about teaching the next generation. And I think that is a really good thing. And I did have the feeling that the 17-year-old kid really enjoyed the day. And I believe he actually learned something. He actually showed me some stuff. Hey, I'm also kind of doing this stuff for school, and I've done this posters for school, and showed me that. And I gave him some constructive feedback, and he, as far as I can tell, he kind of sucked up all of the information. So I really enjoyed that whole process. And the next thing is that I really always kind of recommend, and how I live my life is actually that I feel or believe that everyone in your life, no matter how old, how young, how from a different perspective that person might be, everyone can teach you at least one thing that you have no idea about. And when you approach people with that kind of thinking and with that kind of perspective, you approach people with much more respect and much more humbleness and interest. And I think that also was something that he really enjoyed, because he really noticed, okay, they actually want my opinion on this, and they really value what I have to say. And it was honest interest in his opinion, and he really cherished that. And he gave us his opinion, and it was a valid opinion. And I think that is such an important thing that I feel like many people, and unfortunately many very old people, but also very young people, kind of forget. Yes, some of the people are really young, and then when generation, I don't know, Z says like, oh, you're just a boomer. Yes, those are really old people, and sometimes they are really disconnected by what's going on in life. Still, be it the young person or be it the old person, they still have a lot that you can learn from them, and that could be very valuable to you. And that is how I approach people, and that is something where most people could really benefit from, to approach other people from that perspective. That even though you think, oh, that is a completely new, completely different generation, be it very young or very old, and you feel like, oh, that person is telling me so much crap or whatever, still that person at least knows one thing that you just don't know, and it could be really valuable to you to learn that. So that is why it is so important, in my humble opinion, to respect everyone and to approach everyone with a certain curiosity, because it could be very valuable to you to learn whatever that person is putting on the table. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to share. I had a really cool day yesterday. It was a really good work day. The films we made are incredible. Today is the agency approval, and it was enjoyable to kind of answer questions from a kid that was very interested in whatever we were doing in the editing room. And again, I think that is such an important part of life, to kind of teach other people, share knowledge, and be interested in other people. All right, that was today's daily vlog. Like always, I don't tell this in the beginning because I feel like the first 30 seconds of every video are important, but public safety announcement: always drive safe. I always switch off the display so I do not get distracted whilst driving. Don't text and drive. And if you want to vlog, please mount it in a very safe place. Again, turn off the display so you don't get distracted. Treat it as if we were talking on speakerphone, not on regular phone. And if you want to see yesterday's vlog, check out the video up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. Maybe like and hype the video, and don't forget to subscribe and help me to get to 2,000 subscribers by hopefully the end of the year by clicking the button up here. I see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.